Well, this is Charlie Secura. On April 9, he was taken to Bairnsdale Regional Health Service after a nurse noticed he looked unwell at home. Charlie's wife, Marie, asked if she could go with him, but she was told no.
That afternoon, Marie rang for an update and was asked to call back at 10 p.m. She did that and was told Charlie had been taken to the ward.
The next day, Marie called at 9 a.m. and was told to call back in half an hour. So she did. She called back, but couldn't get hold of Charlie's nurse. An hour later, so this is at 10:30, she was told no one was available.
So at 1 p.m, Marie was finally able to speak to a doctor who said Charlie was unwell but had eaten breakfast.
She was again denied the chance to see him. And at 5:45 that evening, the hospital rang and told her to urgently make her way in. Marie went to the hospital with Charlie's brother, Joe.
They struggled to get access to Charlie's ward and tragically walked into his room as he was taking his last breath.
Boy, that's tough. It's an incredibly confronting story, and Marie joins us now, as well as Charlie's brother, Joe. I mean, Marie, I don't even know where we start with this. Just to run through it all, it must be incredibly tough.
The only thing is, I'm just trying to give Charlie a voice. After listening to the radio and I heard about that man that had died at the hospital on Monday, I thought, how many more families have to do this? And I thought, we all say, oh, I'm going to do it tomorrow, or I'll make a stand, or I'll say something. And I don't know, somewhere inside me, I just rang Tony and thought if I could just say it on the radio, maybe someone else would hear it, someone else would have the courage to say, we need to change this.
And you are doing that. And can we say thank you for that? It takes real courage to be able to do this, especially when you're in the grips of such raw and horrible emotions. So thank you. Joe, explain to us what it's been like for you.
Well, hard. I mean, I can understand why people get frustrated and carry on at hospitals, because it's not that they don't care, they're just directed from upstairs on what to do and who can come in and who can't. And we struggled for nearly 20 minutes to get in after they'd rang us and told us to get there urgently. It was just, and I can understand why people get angry. I was starting to get angry with her because we knew what was going to happen, and it did. And then nobody seems to know exactly what's going on, who's allowed in, who's not allowed in, who's doing what, who's doing... It's just, yeah, it's all over the place. It's wrong. You know, had Marie or myself been there earlier, we could have seen a change in Charlie and possibly called for help straight away. We don't know.
We're talking about, and this has been the last 2 years, end-of-life experience, which should be sacred, which at the very least should be allowed to pass through with a family member with you. I get the hospitals are under pressure, we get COVID has affected staff numbers, but for Marie, what difference would it have made for you to have been by his side?
Just to have the quality of time with him, the last...
The thing is, Charlie was to the world this big, brave man, but he wasn't really. He had suffered a lot in the last few years, and he was afraid of hospitals. He'd just spent 7 weeks in Monash, and I know he would have been terrified.
Oh.
And I don't think anyone should leave this earth alone. My other thing is, I don't blame the staff. I feel so sorry for the staff. If they are so understaffed and we have resources in our families that we can sit in the hospitals and help a little bit, I don't mean medically, I just mean physically feeding or just emotions, taking some pressure off the staff. If someone had been there, like Joe said, maybe We don't know. They said to me at 1 o'clock, yes, he's okay. He's going to be here a few days. 5:45, they say, get in there. I walk in there and...
Yeah, but they'd pulled the code. They
And
pulled the
that's it.
code red at 4 o'clock. Why didn't they contact us at 4 o'clock?
Yeah, at 4 o'clock the code was pulled. They told us that the code was pulled at 4 o'clock. But they didn't tell us till 5:45. Maybe they thought they could save him. I don't know.
Oh, and then for you to find out at that time, and also too, Marie, that this is now your memory of it. You know, this is now your memory of Charlie's passing, and that's something that you've got to now live with, and that's unfair.
Yep.
And I don't want anyone, especially we're elderly people. We're not young. We do things the old way, and like to have to watch your loved one and know that they'd spend all that time on their own for somebody that says COVID. Like the medical staff live in our community. We go to the same events, same supermarkets, same everything. What difference does it make?
Especially when you can go to the football and you can't get in to see
You
a
know,
dying relative.
we're vaccinated. We would have done anything. I would have done anything they wanted. And I just think it would have freed up the nursing staff, would have made their lives a little bit easier.
No, it's time.
Tim.
And look,
also would have-
and I hope and I pray that you having the courage to come out and do all this when you're going through all of this leads to some level of change. It's time, isn't it? We've been in contact with Bairnsdale Regional Health Service this morning, who've issued this statement. They say, we do have procedures in place to contact families and allow them into the hospital at a certain stage in a patient's condition, but we admit that in this case, those procedures were not properly followed. We did not do the best we could by Marie and her family and are incredibly sorry for our failing in this instance. Marie, your response?
If those procedures are in place and you're so adamant about who goes in and out of the hospital, why didn't you follow them? Sorry, I'm angry now.
Yeah.
Because they're just words. If they're saying the procedures are there, then follow them.
And Marie, you have
I
every
would have
right
had a
to be
chance
angry.
to see him.
Can't get that back. Marie and Joe,
You
we
do
appreciate...
get angry because...
Look, we do thank you for your time. Joe, Marie, it's a story, unfortunately, that is replicated across the country. And it will do so for some time, but hopefully what you're doing and how you're speaking out today will lead to some level of change for these last moments in a loved one's life. Everyone deserves that.
Yeah,
I hope
that's why we're doing it.
Yeah.
I hope it gives courage to the people out there to be able to speak up. Have a voice.
Good on you.
Well
Please,
said.
people, have a voice.
Thank you, you too. And we'll have more of the Today Show right after this.